Hello, today is July 29th, 2021, and this is my money vlog update for the month of July. I haven't really prepared any slides or any background information this time because I'm really busy, and also my vacation are going to start very soon. As you can tell by my relaxing background, my holidays are going to start tomorrow, and then also I'll be gone all of August. So I won't invest any money in August, and I also won't make a vlog in August. So that's why I just wanted to get in at least this one update now. But what I can do is show you why I'm so busy, because I have to write a paper, and let me just share my screen. And this is one of the graphs from the paper that I'm working on at the moment. It shows the development of verb-object order in English between 1100 and 1500. The blue lines are prose texts and the orange lines are poetry texts, as you can see how the verb-object word order becomes more and more common over time. So I think that's pretty neat. It's a nice graph, but the paper isn't done. It still needs a lot of work. So I'm quite busy. And like I said, that's why I haven't prepared any additional material for this vlog. So in July, I invested £1,000 again, which is a lot of money for me. And in fact, more than I bargained for, because I had a couple of expenses this month that I didn't quite see coming. I paid someone to do some transcriptions for me. I also went to the dentist and stuff like this. So I think I overpaid by about £300, which I had to take out of my savings. I put those back next month. And also next month, I won't put any money into the stock market. So hopefully when I'm back in September, I'll be back to normal. So what did I do with those £1,000? Well, I invested in more of the same kinds of stocks that I already own. And I suppose a part of the reason is that I feel defiance or anger because, let's face it, my investments aren't going so well. But I think it's a good idea. And so I just doubled down. And what I did is I bought even more gold stocks. I put £500 into a company called Centamin. They are a UK listed gold miner and they seem very cheap, low PE, very nice dividend. And the other £500 I put into a company that I already own. Now they all seem very attractive to me, maybe wrong, but that's my opinion. So you're spoiled for choice. You could buy some more Barrick or some Yamana, but I put those £500 into Kinross Gold because they seemed particularly cheap or got beaten up particularly badly in the last decline. There are two main reasons why my investments haven't been doing so well. In fact, they've actually done very poorly, considering that lots of stock markets all around the world have been hitting new all-time record highs, and here I am sitting on losses. So that's a real shame. The first reason is continued concerns about inflation, central banks, and the gold price. So maybe I can just share my screen to show a gold price chart. So this chart shows the gold price over the last 3 months. And I bought most of my gold stocks around here when the gold price hit about $1,900 an ounce. Then in the middle of June, we had this huge crash from 1900 down to 1750. And of course, my gold stocks got destroyed. They lost a lot of money. And ever since then, we've really gone nowhere. We've been hovering around 1800, pretty much exactly 1799, 1805. Right now, the gold price stands at $1,810. But of course, I'm still sitting on these huge losses from last month, and there doesn't seem to be anything like a recovery going on at the moment. And the reason why gold prices first came crashing down and are now going nowhere is that investors think inflation won't actually be a problem. Either inflation will just be transitory, like everybody says, or if it does become a problem, then central banks, especially the Fed, are going to do something about it and raise interest rates. And that, people say, is bad for gold. Now, my view is that this is actually not so easy. Even if the Fed wants to raise interest rates, that's not so easy to do for them because the whole world has a lot of debt. The balance sheet of the Fed has a new record high. They keep buying, bonds, I think 100 billion a month or something crazy like this. Everybody has a lot of debt, private consumers, people who have houses. And of course, during the pandemic, all sorts of countries all around the world took on even more debt. So that smells very much like inflation to me, because it's very tempting to try to reduce your debt burden by inflating away the value of money to some degree. Now, I don't think it's going to be a huge inflationary nightmare, but I do think inflation is going to be higher, and that should be reflected in the gold price. Unfortunately, I'm quite alone with this opinion, which is why my investments aren't doing so well. And most people don't share those concerns. In fact, today we had another Fed meeting, and Powell gave a press conference and reiterated that he would be willing to raise interest rates if that becomes necessary.
If you look at the most recent inflation report, what you see is that it came in significantly higher than expected, but essentially all of the overshoot can be tied to a handful of categories. It is really about the reopening of the economy. So we look at that and we think that those are temporary things. Inflation will move back down. Again, it's hard to say when that will be. In any case, we will use our tools over time as appropriate to make sure that we do have inflation that averages 2% over time.
The second reason for my poor performance is brand new and actually happened this week, and that is a crackdown by China on tech and educational stocks. So the Chinese want to regulate their companies more, and so all the companies that are listed on Western stock exchanges have been beaten up. And not just tech and educational companies, but just Chinese stocks across the board. Now, I have quite a large holding for my standards in China Resources Cement, and the last week has just been horrible. It's been falling and falling and falling, and so I've lost a lot of money there too. But I'm not selling that stock. I think it looks like a fantastic investment. Super cheap, very nice dividend, great earnings. So it looks like a really solid company. The only problem is the political risk, but that's what you get when you invest in China, I suppose. That is the main reason, I suppose, why this company does look so cheap. But I'm hoping that eventually the tide is going to turn around, and more people will see the value in these kinds of stocks again, and then the price hopefully will go up at some point again. But yeah, at the moment I'm sitting on big losses there, and that's a bit upsetting. But what can you do? It's a bit like gambling, isn't it? Okay, so this was my short update for the month of July. Like I said, I won't actually be here in August. I won't invest any money into the stock market or make a vlog either, but I will be back in September. And then my plan is to invest about £500 every month for the rest of the year. So even though my portfolio is down and I'm not doing so well, I'm still sort of happy and optimistic and in high spirits. At least I'm trying to do the right thing, put some money aside, invest money into the stock market every month. And so at least it sort of gives me a good feeling. Hopefully things will turn around at some point. So fingers crossed that my portfolio will go up in the future. Of course, only time will tell. We can only wait and see what happens. And so this journey continues to be exciting, and I'm looking forward to my next update in 2 months' time.